Candidate for delegate in District 13 in Howard County. I'm a University of Maryland student, and I'm a member of the Rifle and Pistol Club at the University of Maryland. When I was growing up, my father made sure to teach me about the rights and principles contained in our nation's two most important documents. That's the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The right to defend one's life and property. The right to keep what you've worked hard to earn. My dad taught me that you need to fight hard to protect your rights and freedoms every day to make sure that no one can ever infringe upon them. And although my dad is unfortunately no longer with us, the lessons he taught me still ring true to this very day. I'm running for state delegate because in Maryland, I see a state where spending is out of control, where citizens and businesses are overtaxed and overregulated, and where our constitutionally protected rights and freedoms are under fire. Over the last 7 years, Annapolis has increased taxes and fees over 70 times on you and me. That's threatening our economic freedom. You know, you can say we're free in this country, but if 40% of what you earn is going to taxes, you're only economically free 60% of the time. That's got to change. You know, we got the rain tax, the gas tax, the flesh tax, toll increases across the state. We've gotten higher vehicle titling and registration fees. You name it, Governor O'Malley, and that's spelled O-W-E, Governor O'Malley and his allies in the General Assembly have probably taxed it. This tax, spend, and tax some more policy has driven thousands of people and businesses out of our state as the cost of living and doing business in the state continues to skyrocket. And you know, apparently it's still not enough, because this year we face a $500 million deficit as we have the legislature go back into session. If elected delegate, I will support legislation that will reduce waste in Annapolis and promote fiscal efficiency with your tax dollars. I support a cut in personal income taxes, including the proposal this year by the Republican caucus to cut taxes by 10% over the next 3 years. And I'm going to support legislation that's going to make us a business-friendly state again, to make sure that we can bring investment and jobs back to this state. Despite repeated Supreme Court rulings that affirm our right to bear arms, with Senate Bill 281, Annapolis is telling law-abiding gun owners, all of you, myself, that we can't own certain guns because they look dangerous, while doing nothing to reduce gun violence and the murder rate, or to prevent criminals from obtaining guns or selling them illegally. Despite Supreme Court precedent that goes all the way back to the abolishment of the poll tax, which makes it illegal to have to pay to exercise a constitutionally protected right, we have to pay now here for fingerprinting and for a handgun qualification license if we want to own a handgun. SB 281 is a poorly conceived, knee-jerk reaction to a national tragedy that does nothing to actually get guns off the streets and out of the hands of criminals. And that's the problem we have. It's not law-abiding gun owners, it's criminals with guns. SB 281 does nothing to address that. The murder rate in Baltimore City that Charles Lala touched on earlier today, all the murders so far, 14 murders in the first 12 days, that's just further proof that gun laws do nothing to reduce crime and the murder rate. We need to repeal SB 281. I support Delegate Smiegel's bill, and I'm going to work hard with him and the rest of the Republican caucus to make sure we get stuff done to roll back the draconian regulations that SB 281 puts on us, because it helps no one and it hurts us, the law-abiding gun owners. One of the tenets of limited government is the principle of local autonomy. Our counties need to have more control over what happens within their borders. But sadly, Annapolis doesn't let that happen. When the EPA told Maryland to jump, Annapolis asked, how high? And passed the rain tax. Not only is this tax ridiculous because rainwater that falls on your roofs and driveways is not a pollutant, it flies in the face of equal protection by only requiring residents of certain counties to pay it. Annapolis left the counties to determine how to best collect this tax, but when Frederick, Harford, and Carroll counties dared to refuse to burden their citizens with yet another tax, the state responded by threatening to fine them thousands of dollars per day. It is inexcusable for a state government to threaten and order around and intimidate our counties in this fashion. And while Annapolis sets taxes on square footage, our state still allows the sale of millions of tons of excessive fertilizer each year. Here's an idea. Why not limit the fertilizer to reduce nutrient runoff into the bay instead of taxing the rainwater that falls on our homes? In a similar fashion, Annapolis is preventing our western counties from developing energy resources within their borders, saying the issue needs even more study. We've seen them study the state pension issue. We know how well that's gone. Developing these resources would create an economic boom for these counties and the state, as well as spur job creation. Yet our western counties are being prevented by the state capital from making the decision of how to best develop the resources they have within their borders, and that's not right. As a delegate, I'm going to move immediately to make sure that we can give our counties the right to develop what is within their borders. We need to, if they want to develop the energy, let's let them develop it. You know, with everything going on in our state right now, it could be easy to just want to pack up and leave. I'd be lying to you if I hadn't said I hadn't thought about how cool it might be to move to Texas or South Carolina, states like that. But Maryland is my home. And like all of you gathered here today, I'm not ready to surrender my home. I'm not ready to quit. I'm not ready to give up. I'm here to fight alongside each and every one of you. As you all know, we have a critical election coming up in 10 months. 2014 is our chance to send a strong message to the politicians that have put us where we are today and to take Maryland back. I thank you all for the chance to come out and speak today. I'll see you all at the February 4th rally as well. God bless you all, God bless Maryland, and God bless the United States.